The game opened in a strange way, almost confusing for anyone watching, because the first half did not resemble the kind of football this team usually plays. There was hesitation, uneven execution, and moments where the rhythm simply was not there. It felt like the Patriots were searching for themselves, trying to understand the pace of the matchup and how Miami wanted to attack. Then the second half arrived, and with it came a completely different version of this team, one that flipped the switch with authority and never looked back. From the opening drive after halftime, the energy shifted, the defense tightened its grip, and the offense began to impose its will in a way that left no doubt about the outcome. What followed was total control. Miami did not score a single point in the second half, while New England poured it on with 3 touchdowns and complete command of the game flow. The final score, 38-10, tells only part of the story because the dominance after the break went far beyond the scoreboard. This was a statement performance that closed the regular season with 14 wins and only 3 losses, locking up the number 2 seed in the conference and sending a clear message that this team is entering the postseason with confidence and momentum. Several individual performances stood out, but the collective effort is what made the biggest difference. The defense deserves major credit for the adjustments made at halftime. After a shaky start, they became aggressive, disciplined, and relentless. Coverage tightened, the pass rush found its rhythm, and Miami's offense simply ran out of answers. That kind of second-half shutout is not an accident. It is preparation meeting execution at the highest level. Offensively, the balance was impressive. The passing game did what it needed to do without forcing anything, and the running game exploded when opportunities appeared. Hunter Henry once again proved how valuable he is to this offense, leading the way with 5 receptions for 56 yards. He continues to be a reliable presence in critical moments, finding soft spots in coverage and giving the quarterback a trustworthy option when plays break down. His impact goes far beyond the stat sheet, because his timing and awareness keep drives alive and defenses honest. Then there was Ramondre Stevenson, who delivered one of the most efficient performances of the season. On just 7 carries, he ripped through the defense for 131 rushing yards and accounted for 3 total touchdowns. Every time he touched the ball, it felt like something big could happen. His vision, power, and burst were all on display, and Miami struggled to contain him once he got into the open field. Performances like this change the way opponents game plan, because when a running back is that explosive, defenses are forced to commit extra resources, opening up opportunities everywhere else. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, this season has already exceeded many expectations. Before kickoff in Week 1, few people would have confidently predicted that New England would finish as the number 2 seed in the conference. The conversation back then was more about fighting for a wild card spot or sneaking into the playoffs late. Instead, this team consistently found ways to win, handled adversity, and now enters the postseason with home field advantage in the early rounds. The quarterback play has been a major part of that success. Drake May delivered another efficient and composed performance, completing 14 passes for 191 yards and a touchdown while adding value with his legs. He protected the football, avoided unnecessary risks, and made plays when the moment demanded it. His quarterback rating reflected that efficiency, and, perhaps just as important, he did not need to play the entire game. By the fourth quarter, the outcome was already decided, a testament to how complete the team performance was. What stands out most about his approach is the focus on winning rather than chasing numbers. There were opportunities to pad statistics, but the decisions consistently leaned towards smart football and team success. That mentality has been a defining trait all season long, and it shows up in the way the offense operates, especially in high-leverage situations. When the run game is working, the offense leans into it. When the defense is dominating, the offense manages the game and avoids mistakes. The contrast around the league has sparked plenty of debate, especially when performances are judged differently depending on context. Big passing totals and touchdown numbers grab headlines, but they do not always tell the full story. What matters most is efficiency, decision-making, and winning football games, and New England checked every one of those boxes in this matchup. The fact that the team could score nearly 40 points while still leaving points on the table speaks volumes about how dangerous this offense can be when everything clicks. Beyond the individual highlights, the emotional significance of this moment cannot be ignored. This is the first playoff appearance for the Patriots since the 2021 season, and this time the feeling is different. There is belief, depth, and balance across the roster. The team is not limping into the postseason hoping for a miracle. It is charging in with confidence, having earned its position through consistent play over the course of the year. As the focus shifts toward the upcoming playoff matchup, the foundation built throughout the season becomes even more important. The ability to adjust at halftime, dominate in the trenches, and execute situational football is exactly what wins games in January. This performance against Miami was not just another win. It was a reminder of what this team is capable of when everything aligns, and it set the tone for what lies ahead. As impressive as the offense looked when the game opened up, the defense deserves an equally deep look because what they did after halftime completely changed the narrative. The first half was frustrating, with missed assignments and soft zones that allowed Miami to move the ball more easily than expected. It felt like the defense was reacting instead of dictating, playing a step behind and giving up too much space underneath. Then the adjustments kicked in, and the unit came out with a different mindset, attacking instead of waiting, closing lanes, and forcing Miami into uncomfortable situations on every snap. The turning point came when the pressure finally started to land consistently. Once the pass rush found its timing, everything else fell into place. Quarterbacks make mistakes when they are rushed, and that is exactly what happened. The defense fed off that energy, tackling with purpose and swarming to the football. Every drive felt shorter, every possession more desperate for Miami, until the offense was completely shut down. Holding any professional team scoreless for an entire half is an accomplishment, but doing it with playoff positioning on the line makes it even more meaningful. Christian Barmore stood out as a force in the middle, playing with visible intensity and confidence. He consistently penetrated the line of scrimmage, disrupting both run plays and passing lanes. His ability to collapse the pocket changed the rhythm of Miami's offense, forcing quick throws and uncomfortable decisions. When he plays at that level alongside other interior defenders, it elevates the entire front seven and allows the edge rushers to be more aggressive without fear of losing gap integrity. The supporting cast up front also played their role, creating a wave of pressure that wore Miami down as the game progressed. By the fourth quarter, the offensive line had no answers, and the quarterback had no time to settle. That kind of sustained pressure is exactly what this defense needs heading into the postseason, where every possession becomes magnified and momentum can swing on single series. In the secondary, the performance was mixed but encouraging. There were moments of soft coverage that allowed easy completions underneath, especially earlier in the game, but the tackling was solid and prevented those plays from turning into explosive gains. Christian Gonzalez continues to show why he is one of the most talented corners on the roster. His physicality and awareness were on display, particularly when he stepped up to disrupt routes and support the run. When he is allowed to play aggressively, he changes how opposing receivers approach their routes, even if the stat sheet does not always reflect it. The debate between zone and man coverage remains, especially when facing quarterbacks who thrive on quick throws. Giving receivers space underneath can keep plays in front of the defense, but it also allows offenses to stay on schedule. As the playoffs approach, finding the right balance will be critical, because the margin for error shrinks with every round. The talent is there to play tighter coverage, and the confidence gained from a dominant second half could push the coaching staff to trust that approach more often. Special teams also delivered a moment that cannot be overlooked. The confidence gained from a long field goal just before halftime shifted momentum and sent a message to both sidelines. Knowing that points are available from that distance changes decision-making, especially in postseason games where field position battles often decide outcomes. A kicker who can convert from deep range adds a valuable weapon, giving the offense more flexibility and reducing pressure in borderline situations. All of this sets the stage for a playoff matchup that already carries plenty of emotion. The Patriots have earned a right to host their next game, and that environment matters. Playing in Foxborough in January is never easy, and the energy from the crowd will only amplify the intensity. The opponent coming in knows exactly what awaits, not just the weather, but a team that believes it belongs and has proven it can dominate when it finds its rhythm. There's also a sense that this team thrives on being challenged. Any perceived lack of respect only seems to fuel the fire, sharpening focus rather than creating distraction. Veterans and young players alike understand what is at stake, and that shared urgency shows up in the way they prepare and perform. Every snap from this point forward carries weight, and the habits built over the regular season will determine how far this run can go. Perhaps the most important takeaway from this game is how complete the performance became once adjustments were made. This was not a one-dimensional win. It was defense, offense, and special teams working together, each unit feeding off the success of the others. That kind of balance is rare and dangerous, especially in the postseason where opponents are strong and weaknesses are quickly exposed. The Patriots are not entering the playoffs hoping things break their way. They are entering with momentum, belief, and a clear identity. They know they can run the ball effectively, protect the quarterback, generate pressure, and close games with authority. This win was another step in that journey, reinforcing the idea that when this team plays to its potential, it can control games against anyone standing across the line of scrimmage. There is also a growing sense of maturity around this roster that separates it from previous seasons. In tight moments, there is no panic, no rush to force plays that are not there. Drives are managed with patience, defenders trust their assignments, and the sideline energy feels focused rather than frantic. That composure becomes invaluable in playoff football, where one mistake can flip an entire game. This team looks comfortable in close situations and confident when playing from ahead, which is a dangerous combination once elimination games begin. Another key element moving forward is how well this team adapts within games. What happened against Miami was not just about talent. It was about recognition and response. The coaching staff identified what was not working, the players executed the changes, and the result was a completely different second half. That ability to self-correct in real time is something every championship-level team needs. Opponents in the playoffs will adjust, they will find wrinkles, and the Patriots have shown they can answer back without losing their identity. As the postseason atmosphere builds, the belief inside the locker room feels earned rather than manufactured. These players have seen the work pay off across an entire season, not just in one isolated performance. 14 wins do not happen by accident, and securing a top seed reflects consistency, discipline, and resilience. The challenge now is sustaining that level when the stakes are highest, trusting the formula that got them here, and continuing to play fast, physical, and smart football when every snap carries season-defining weight. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. What began as a routine media appearance has quickly turned into a buzzing rumor across the league. Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel is said to have delivered an unusually strong and candid assessment of the New England Patriots, calling them an excellent team in a tone that caught many observers off guard. While the words themselves sounded respectful on the surface, the subtext has fueled speculation about deeper strategic motives and even psychological gamesmanship. McDaniel, a longtime NFL assistant who rose through the coaching ranks after starting his career with the Denver Broncos in 2005, is known for his sharp football mind and unconventional communication style. As a descendant of the famed Mike Shanahan coaching tree, he carries a reputation for seeing the league several moves ahead. That reputation is precisely why his praise of the Patriots is now being dissected line by line. Sources close to the situation suggest that McDaniel's statement may not have been a simple compliment. Some around the league believe it was a calculated move, designed to subtly shift pressure toward New England while reinforcing internal standards within the Dolphins locker room. By publicly labeling the Patriots as a great team, McDaniel may be setting a benchmark, implicitly challenging his own roster to rise to that level of consistency, discipline, and execution historically associated with their rival. Others interpret the comment as a sign of genuine respect rooted in film study and preparation. According to this view, McDaniel sees traits in the Patriots that statistics alone might not reveal: adaptability, situational intelligence, and a collective identity that refuses to fade. Praising an opponent in such terms could also be a way of keeping his players focused, avoiding complacency, and reminding them that reputation in the NFL is built over time, not on isolated performances. There is also speculation that McDaniel's words were aimed beyond the locker room, perhaps intended as a message to front offices and fans alike. In a league driven by narratives, acknowledging the strength of a traditional power can reframe expectations and buy strategic breathing room. Whether it was psychological chess, honest admiration, or a blend of both, the comment has added an intriguing layer to an already intense rivalry, leaving many to wonder what McDaniel truly sees coming next. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.